Okay, hi guys. It's been a while and not that a lot has actually happened, but we are exactly 6 days out from my first show. We are on the 1st of September and firstly, I cannot believe how fast it's gone, honestly. If you can hear something in the background as well, there is a Hoover on next door and no one's using it. It's just like a robot, which is actually quite fucking cool. But yeah, we are 6 days out from my first show. So what I wanted to do is to basically pop on here, discuss what me and Finn have planned for the next 6 days building up to my show, kind of go through what's happened in the prep so far and then go through what's going to happen after my first show. So if we go ahead and talk about prep as a whole, I just can't believe how fast 19 weeks has gone by, and it's not actually felt too difficult or too much or something that I haven't been able to, like, quote unquote deal with. I love the sport for the journey. I love bodybuilding for the process. I'm not just here to turn around and flaunt around in my like sparkly bikini, by the way. My bikini is absolutely beautiful. Obviously I've taken 3 years off for a long off season. Like when I went and did bikini 3 years ago, then yes, I did have the assumption that bodybuilding was very glamorous and you just went on stage in your bikini and it looked all pretty. But as soon as I looked at the figure girls, like for instance when I started looking into natural figure girls, so like for example Xena, Dr. Xena of course, I was absolutely mesmerized by their shape, by their symmetry, and like just overall figure for me is definitely, in my opinion, the best category. When we're looking at the Olympia, in the female category, when we're looking at Olympia, when we're looking at natural bodybuilding as well, in my opinion, which obviously you can all agree, disagree and stuff like that, I just love and admire how this, like how symmetrical the physiques are when they go on stage. I mean, look at Sydney. Won the Olympia like what, 6-7 times. Like no matter who else comes against her, she's still got the X-frame, she's still got a beautiful physique, and she's still really feminine. Like it is beautiful, and you can do this category while still sharing and showing that feminine touch. Okay, just because we're not doing bikini doesn't mean that we're now masculine. Okay, it's just not how it works. Okay, so obviously going into that off season, I was like, yeah, I want to do figure. And the initial response was like, okay, 2 years off season and then we'll go in 2023. And then I decided in 2022, there was a lot more work that needed to be done and a lot more time for me to go and actually build what I needed to build. So I ended up doing a 3-year off season instead because, you know, why the hell not? And obviously the longer you stay out of it, the better you're going to look when you come back in and when you join back in. Okay, so for me, obviously slow and steady will always win the race, and being a female and being natural as well, I'm not here to go, oh, I'm natural so I'm better than everyone else. I'm just being straight honest. The fact that I'm natural, it's gonna take longer. Like that is just how it goes. And yeah, there are assisted people as well who will take these amount of years in the off season, and that's absolutely fine. But guaranteed, if they've got good genetics and they're taking assistance, they're gonna have better results than I do because I've not got that like sprinkle in the mix, if that makes sense. Like no disregard or no disrespect to anyone who is assisted. I believe that people should be able to go down their own path, but I'm just saying, like being natural and being a female, it's already 2 markers where it goes, yeah, it's going to take a while for you to grow. That's all. That is all. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's my choice, so it's my consequence. So that's that. So this prep started in, what was it, mid-April, when we're in September. Like, look how fast it's gone by. Like, it's been absolutely incredible. Obviously, when I started this prep, I felt like I had so much pressure on me, and just the reason being is because 2 weeks before I started prep, I had a very bad experience with a previous coach, and I looked at myself in the mirror and left that coach, and I was like, I'm not ready to do figure. I've not got the muscle for it, I've not got the size for it, I've not got the shape for it anymore, because when I did the mini cut back in December, It had looked like I'd just lost all my tissue. It literally looked like I didn't even go to the gym. I was so fatigued, I was so tired, and I just looked like lifeless. And mentally, I was very lifeless as well. So when I joined Finn, he was like, we're not in a bad spot, but we're not in a great spot either. So we'll do this, we'll see how the prep goes, and we'll just go from there and just trust the process. So obviously with my fats being upped, which are now at, well, today I've got 55 grams of fat, thank you, Finn. I went from doing that mini cut, being on 13 grams of fat every day, to now being on 45 on a training day and 50 on a rest day. And today, with going into the peak, I am now on 55 grams of fats because we're wanting to increase it. Glycogen storage, we're wanting to increase performance in the gym, and we're wanting to rush off any fatigue that I've still got left. That's the plan. And whilst I have been prepping, my body has also been developing body recomposition. So what that basically means is I have actually been gaining some size and some better quality tissue than what I did prior in the little build-up phase after my pre-prep cut. So I have gained size, whether that's just from fullness of like having fats, like a good amount of dietary fats, a good amount of dietary carbs, and a good amount of protein, then that's that. Because protein's great for building muscle, but I think I was on like 200 grams of protein in that pre-prep phase, whereas the fats were very low. This time around, I'm on 160 grams of protein and a lot higher fats, and we can all agree that this time around is a lot better than last time around, which is completely, well, it's black and white, day and night difference, but it is what it is. Like, it happens, and obviously everyone's different, but for me, higher fats is definitely one to go for. So obviously with the body recomp that was cracking off, the more I got into this prep, the more I've trusted Finn, the more confident I felt, the more motivated I have been to do this. Like, as we've been getting deeper into the prep and as it's been getting more difficult as what people would see, I'm like, okay, this is the exciting bit. This is where I'm going to see the changes. This is where we're going to dig deep. This is where we're going to make the most visuals. Like, it was just one of them where I'm like, I want to be dug into the ground and I want to do the hard work, because now that obviously we're kind of slowly feeding back up, that is definitely a sign that you have gotten to be lean enough, essentially. And to be fair, this first show is actually just a warm-up peak. So I decided to jump into this show, and we've kind of used it as a mock peak week, as per se. Very expensive mock peak week, by the way. But that's what we want to go for, because after this show, we've got 3 weeks until the next show. Oh, 4 weeks until the next show, but 3 weeks of digging until the next show. Okay. So within these next couple of days, the aim is to reduce as much fatigue as possible, increase carbs, increase fats, slowly but surely. So we're doing a linear load basically. And then on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to taper down protein to essentially prioritize carbs and a bit of fats. But I know that the fats are going to be taken out like sooner to the time of the show. On show day, I don't think I'll be going on stage till 6, 7 p.m. because my top coat tan isn't till 4 p.m, which is mad. It's going to be a long day because obviously they've got all the novice on first and then they've got the open on, and because I placed in my bikini season last time, I'm not a novice, unfortunately. I wish I was a novice because then I'd be able to get it done and dusted in the morning. So going in an open figure category from bikini is quite scary, I won't lie, it is quite scary. Obviously I know it's just like a bit of a, it's not even a regional qualifier, it's just like an open show, so it will get me prepared for the bigger shows like WNBF, UKDFBA, and kind of help me fall in love with the process of being on stage again. Not that I'm saying that I've lost the love, I'm just thinking I need to practice this before I do all the big shows. So at the minute, as well, cardio has been removed and my steps are now in between 8,000 to 12,000 steps. So what I like to do if I've got a range, I just like to be bang on in the middle, because then I know that I'm like doing the exact thing. So for example, I've got I've pretty much done my steps for the day. Really. I've done 10,000, and it was in between 8 to 12,000, so that's 10, that's fine, I'm happy. So yeah, within that time, obviously I'm still working until Thursday morning, so that's when I will be 2 days out. And on Thursday as well, we will be doing the pump sesh. So basically, Finn's already given me the pre-protocol, the peak week protocol of what I'll be doing on Thursday. So basically just a range of upper body exercises, 2 to 3 sets, 10 to 15 reps, and leave a couple of reps in reserve. The only thing we want to do is to gain a bit of a pump. And basically what I'll be doing every day from now until Friday is basically taking pictures for check-in every AM and every post-workout. Like, I'll do some post-workout posing and then send them to him and see what he says. In terms of the rest days, so I've got a rest day on Wednesday. I'll take some posing shots in the morning and in the afternoon, so after 2 meals. So just so we can see how my stomach is, so if there's like any massive distension in terms of like volume of food, we can take that down. If my body reacts to carbs better earlier in the day or later in the evening, then we can adapt to that. And obviously because my show is not till later in the day, we just need to make sure that we're not going to give me so many carbs during the day and then my body is not actually thanking me for it, if that makes sense. So I'm super excited to see how this goes. So the plan after UKDFBA, it all depends on the feedback that I get. So obviously when we have the 3 weeks of digging after UKDFBA, that just means that I'm going to get a lot leaner. So I'm currently weighing in at mid 106 pounds, so 106.5. The aim is to get down to 104 / in between 104, 102. So it does mean that I've got to work a bit harder, and it does mean that I'm going to be more fatigued, and it does mean that I'm probably going to be on pro fats for a while. Pro fats, no veg. I'm probably going to see that happen within the next 3 weeks. But you know what? Again, I choose to do it. I'm happy to be a walking zombie for 3 weeks. It is fine. And I think a big one that people will get really confused when I do this, post-show food. I've decided I don't want to do it. I'm not going to go out for a meal. I'm not going to have a takeaway. If I'm going to be doing anything, it's literally going to be either a home cooked meal, which will be high protein, a nice amount of carbs and some fats. So for example, maybe a homemade burger with a bun and some potato on the side, or some chicken, or I'll make it like chicken and breadcrumbs or something like that. It's not going to be a Domino's or a Five Guys or a cookie pie, what you normally see people do. And the reason being is because for me, I know that I will be a lot worse off being exposed to that and then having 3 weeks to have to restrict it again than to just not know it. Just not know it's there, to not be exposed to it. And I think that's where most people struggle. They'll have a massive off plan post-show and then they've got to dig again. And then from that, if their post-show food was a post-show binge and they've gained a couple of pounds, they then got to drop them a couple of pounds and more to then get to the standard that they want to. And the last thing that I want to do is actually give myself more work than what needs to be done. So I can just make the sensible choice after show and go, okay, I need to be hydrated, get a wholesome meal in, which I cook myself so I know what's going in it, and get ready for the next day. Because the next day, it'll be a rest day and it'll be back to square one. So we're going to make sure that we're going to make sure that is the sensible thing to do, which it will be. And I know that Jack will be there with me to be able to help me make them decisions. So obviously he had his first show 2 weeks ago now. A week ago now, but it'll be 2 weeks ago when we both compete. And I'll just pop a photo here because as you can see, he did very well and I'm super, super proud of him. Like, he did post-show very, very well and he managed it so, so well. And when he went for a food shop lesson, he felt bad for me because I couldn't enjoy the food with him, so then he got me some flowers. He is adorable and he is so cute. And I loved the flowers. As much as I loved the food as well, I did really, really like the flowers. I know that I've got the right support with me, and I know that Finn will be there if I need him as well, which is really, really good. But yeah, so the plan is just keep checking in with Finn every morning, keep ticking the boxes. But I just wanted to give you guys an update because obviously I haven't really been doing much since being 3 weeks out, but it's been a tough one because I've been so busy with other things, which I will be including in future episodes of the YouTube channel because we do have a lot of things cracking off, including business and not just prep. It has been an absolute whirlwind of a couple of weeks, going in meetings, shaking hands, getting things done, and it's been like a whole, like this whole prep has not just been like an upgrade for my prep, it's been an upgrade for like everything else as well, which you will soon see, which I'm very excited to announce it when I do. So if you guys liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. I will probably try and document a little bit of day-to-day life when I'm back. I'll probably do Thursday because Thursday is 2 days before show, and I will be doing a pump session and an in-person check-in with Finn, so we'll see. But until then, I hope you all have an amazing day, amazing evening, morning, whatever you're doing. If you're doing cardio, make sure your heart rate's up high and make sure you're smashing it, and I will see you in the next one.